and I'm looking forward to this one. Richard Craill up in commentary, loves the 12-hour, and all the way from the frigid winter of northeastern England, John Hindhaugh, the voice of sports car racing. Let's get into it, fellas.
Number 61 Porsche comes to the final corner now, but look at this commitment on the top from Engel.
It's a big commitment from Maro Engel, but there's not getting the lap time reward. He's a fair chunk of lap time away in the first sector for Maro Engel.
2:02.6 for Lauren Heinrich, so that is a properly representative lap time now that may stand up to get through to the Pirelli pole battle.
Of all shocks, we have not yet had a representative lap time from last year's pole winner, Lucas Auer. Lucas went out about 3 minutes ago. He came back into the pit lane and parked on a diagonal. No work happening to this car. No new tires. The stickers are actually still on the Pirellis that he went out on. So he did do a roading lap, as Garth would call it. Came back in, was messing a bit with his helmet blower, but they are clearly just waiting, hoping that the track might get a little bit thinned out worth of traffic. Maybe the GT4, the Invitational, some of the silver cars, Pro-Am decide to come back into the pit lane, and then Lucas can go out and really use the tires. But guys, the clock's still running. They're running out of time for the defending pole winner to get a shot at the Pirelli pole battle.
Shay, and a 30-minute session, there is red flag time built in, so 10 minutes for each session if there is a red flag, so they can add that time on to the end.
We've been curious about Lucas Auer, or curious no more. Look at the timing totem on the left of your screen. Car 77 down in position 13 has a purple stripe next to it. He is the fastest in the first sector, and he's about 2/10 away in the middle sector across to the top of the mountain. Here he is, making his way down Conrod Straight. So they obviously decided it's going to be one run. They fueled it for one run because fuel weight is critical in GT cars, particularly here at Mount Panorama as you climb up and down the mountain. So as little fuel as possible, they decided we're going to do this with one set of tyres, one run, and back our man in. He's delivering to this point. It might not be the fastest, but it's going to get him in the game.
2/10 down so far on Lauren Heinrich's excellent 2:02.38. And who knows, that may end up being the benchmark. That's the beauty of this qualifying format. We don't know. Well, it's better than that.
Wow.
He's 2/10 up with a mighty final sector.
Oh, Renault, he is super wide at McPhillamy. And I dare say that he may just put this one in the rack. He's rolled right out of it because you don't get in the grey there often and get away with it.
Sharp intake of breath. One of the twins driving that beautiful Herbert Motorsport car. Checking to see if anyone else on a lap. I think that session just about done. So Ryan Wood, the big improver, right at the end. Have Ferrari done enough to get them in the mix? This is the moment.
Oh, just when he turned in over the crest on the entry to McPhillamy, the car didn't respond. And he opened the steering wheel because if you attack the steering and turn it in even sharper, it just swaps end as the car goes over that hump. So lives to fight another day, does that beautiful 991 Porsche. And wow, yeah. Not often you get away with that stuff, Rich.
Well, yeah, it's about the best way to explain that kind of a moment at the top. Here's the results from qualifying one at the Meguiar's Bathurst 12-hour. A 2:01.9 has to be an impressive benchmark. What a lap from Lucas Auer and the Mercedes-AMG team Craft Bamboo Racing. Porsche next. Ferrari third and fourth. Is it good enough to make the Pirelli pole battle? Polls decided here. The IRC, or the Invitational class, Glenn Wood on pole in the KTM. Darren Curry second there. And Kunze in the GT4 car was the only GT4 car in the class, and as such has got pole position there. That's the leaderboard in Quali 1. Let's go down to Elfoil's pit lane with Shay.
3, 2, 1. Open pit exit, please.
And so the second 30-minute part of qualifying to determine the 10 contenders that will battle for the coveted Alan Simonson Pole Award, which is a trophy every driver, whether they knew him, raced against him or not, wants to win. Will Brown and Brad Schumacher watching on from the Jamek Racing Team MPC garage. They've got Christopher Haase behind the wheel. Gartani, you've raced with Chris Haase. I'd be pretty comfortable knowing that he's got the job to qualify car 55. This is Alex Peroni, the young Tasmanian, behind the wheel. First push lap was decent at a 2:03.4. This one better, goes fourth, 2:02.5. He's in the top 10 now as well. The Team BRM and Marco Mappelli flying. Purple first sector means quicker than anybody in the session so far.
Purple first sector by a mile. 50.0 is some serious Hollywood lap time, and you can see the car's a whole lot more animated than it was this time 2 minutes ago. He comes off Forest Elbow, He's about 0.2 of a second away from Ryan Wood's fastest middle sector in the Ferrari across the top of the mountain. There's Brandenia watching on, who will share this car with Marco Mappelli. He was a very excited man earlier in the day when he finished, jumped out of the car and pulled his helmet off. Will he be as excited when Marco Mappelli finishes this lap?
Mappelli brought across his engineer from Lamborghini. They've found a few tweaks, and Grant Denye's done his fastest lap in this car around the mountain earlier on the day. Is this going to be one of the real stories coming to the line? The red and white wall Lamborghini goes up to second position on the overall with a 2 minutes 2.04. Krillsy's just laughing.
The golf clap from Grant Denyer, because I think he was about to burst out by going top, but then they went second by 0.07 of a second. So just switched it to the polite ripple of applause rather than the cheer that might have happened. That's a very nice lap. Remember, we're looking for the top 10 drivers to progress forward to the Pirelli pole battle this afternoon. The grid positions this qualifies you for is 11th back, so we'll track that throughout the course of the session as well.
Just having left the pit lane, 2020 pole winner Matt Campbell is aboard his Porsche. Following him out, the brother of the 2024 pole sitter, Sheldon van der Linde, that would be Kelvin, rolled out of the pits a moment ago, and getting strapped into the number 46 BMW is 2019 pole winner Raffaele Marciello. Guys, this is about to get a whole lot more interesting in the next few minutes.
Yeah, basically what you're saying, Shay, is you ain't seen nothing yet. And Cam Waters is on a very good lap. Personal bests, and then session best in the middle, and session best lap time at 2:01.88. So 800ths quicker than Lucas Hour went in qualifying one.
Game on. No, this is an issue. It's still got the sticker on it, so this is a car that's just left pit lane on a brand new tyre, and there are 3 wheels on its wagon. It's the Burnright AMG Mercedes. So Kai Allen heading up Mountain Straight.
Red flag, red flag.
Just under 7 minutes left in this one, so plenty of time for Waters to get at least 2 push laps in.
So right now you need to do a 2:02.78 or better to get yourself into the Pirelli pole battle. The top 10 cars that will fight it out for 15 minutes to fight for the Alan Simonsen Pole Award. And Will Brown is cheering on his vastly experienced German teammate, who's right on the painted white line before he turns the car into the final corner. He's 11th at the moment. He goes to the top with a 2:01.88. Chris Haase locks himself in, surely, to the Pirelli pole battle. And that Audi has been fast from the first practice session, and it continues to be so. 2 minutes remaining. Brock Feeney, purple in the first sector again. He's 9th. Lee Holdsworth is on the bubble. He is 10th at a 2:02.24. Don't know if that will be enough. Kelvin van der Linde, it's not, because Kelvin van der Linde's just gone to 9th position in the 32 BMW. So you've got to do a 2 dead to get into the top 10. This lap from Brock Feeney has an improvement from the last time around. Where does this put the Ford Mustang? He's been bumped to 11th, but he doesn't stay there because he goes second with a 1:68. Top 3 cars covered by less than a 10th, and Cam Waters is going on with it. Purple in the middle sector.
Down to the final corner, gets the EMG turned in for the 222, and he goes to the top. Now we're throwing overhand, gentlemen.
That's the fastest Ferrari on the mountain right now. The race car's not spectacular in qualifying, but I'm sure they've got a plan. So there's the 10 that will challenge for pole position later on this afternoon in the Pirelli pole battle. What a lap, Cam Waters. Have a look at the margins down the right-hand side. So 0.4 of a second, and the time to get into that top 10 was a 2:01.99. Great to see the Lamborghini squeaking through. What a lap from Marco Mappelli. Those on the outside looking in. So Max Hesse, the privateer BMW, out-qualifies the car that won last year. So that's a huge job from the young German out-qualifying Kelvin van der Linde.
And that is the 6th row on down. That's how they will start on Sunday.
So the Grove car will start from 21st, despite a pretty heroic effort to try and turn it. We work our way in to the Pirelli pole battle, qualifying to set the grid for the Meguiar's Bathurst 12-hour. Will we see a repeat pole winner? Will we see a new name? Will we see a new brand, Lamborghini, yet to score a pole position at Mount Panorama?
And here come the Scott Taylor Motorsport car, the 222.
Scott Andrews is pushing very, very hard in the Guy Valmont racing car as well.
Excuse me, yeah.
We'll follow this lap for Cam Waters across the line. It should get him up the order. It certainly does with a 201.92. Pulls 69 thousandths of a second over Pirelli. So the Mercedes AMG goes to the top. Chris Haas is looking pretty special at the moment as well. Andrew goes second, 8 thousandths behind Waters to make it an AMG 1-2 and bump Pirelli back to third.
Just keep an eye out as well for Jade, no Jada. In the number 6 AMG, he's the last. He was the last Merc out of the pits, so he's about half a lap behind all the other Mercs. So he's just slightly off strategy and off tyre warm up with everybody else.
Matt Campbell's gone third in the Porsche. Marciello for BMW goes fourth. So Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, BMW, the top four. 4 different brands in there. Here's Lucas Stoltz, quickest of anybody to the first split. Personal best across the top. Gives a couple of tenths away to the Audi. But for a car that has qualified consistently strong here at Mount Panorama, this is a very good lap. Jules Gounon gave him the honour of qualifying a car at Mount Panorama. Does he deliver? And he does. It's a 201.4. And a round of applause from his co-driver. Lucas Stoltz now goes to the top. But Cam Waters has replied, and he's on for a very good lap time.
Certainly is. Fastest personal best sectors in the first and second sectors. Has the cumulative best at the end of the second sector. Nice and tidy in the final sector through the chase in the final corner. Does he come to the line? A 1 dead. Wow. Now we're starting to talk. Does Maro Engel's lap time look safe? A 2-minute .8 is the outright qualifying lap record. We're not far away.
And the best lap time, if you added everybody's best sector together, is a 2-minute .9. So you're spot on there, Garth. This could be something very special indeed. Team Craft Bamboo with the mostly white AMG GE3. 003 in the top right-hand side of the windscreen. He's third at the moment. Does he improve as he crosses the line?
Second. 201.25. Will Lucas Stoltz do enough to grab pole position? He gave away a couple of tenths in the middle sector. This final few corners of Mount Panorama will have to be mighty for a double winner of this race to grab pole position. Or will it be Cameron Waters? That's the maths at the end of the Pirelli pole battle. Final few metres of Mount Panorama, and Stoltz stays third, which means Scott Taylor Motorsport will get pole position for the Meguiar's Bathurst 12 hour, and Cameron Waters wins the Alan Simonson Pole Award.